Good afternoon, good people. Welcome to this conversation. Now, today I want to talk about a conversation that we are going to have for the next couple of months, and this conversation is on numbers. Now, as we all know, our elections in this country are based on numbers. Now, this conversation, we are going to trace back the game of numbers from where it all began, and that is in our very first election, which was held in the year 1957. This is the first election where Africans participated, but of course, fast forward, we had an election in 1961 after the formation of the first political party, which was KANU. And in this election, KANU carried the day. In 1963, we had an election again, which led to our independence. And in the 1963 election is when we had Jomo Kenyatta being elected, of course, and he rose to become the prime minister. Remember that time we had a bicameral parliament with a Senate in the House of Representatives. In 1964, Jomo Kenyatta became the president upon Kenya becoming now or attaining its independence. Now, the very first election which we can now have a conversation of is the election of 1969. And in this election, very interesting things, or we can be able to trace very interesting things that are going to form the basis of our conversations going forward. Remember, interesting things happened in 1966 where there was a split between Jomo Kenyatta and the then vice president or the first vice president of the Republic of Kenya, that is Mzee Oginga Odinga. He went ahead to form his political party, which was called KPU, and KPU was abolished upon a vote that was conducted in Parliament, going ahead to abolish also uh, the Senate or the upper house then. And this is how the country became now a one-party state. And going into the 1969 election, Kenya was a one-party state. In that election, and that is where I want us to begin this conversation, Jomo Kenyatta was the only candidate. And this is because of a simple reason. Kenya was a one-party state. Interestingly, we had a total of 3.687 million registered voters. And in this election, another fact that I want us to take note of is that there was a 44.6% turnout of voters, and this led to, of course, this deflected 1.687 million votes for all the 600 KANU aspirants who contested. Of the 600, of course, remember then the bicameral house and 158 seats, not bicameral but unicameral. Remember in 1966, the Senate was abolished, resulting to a unicameral National Assembly. And so we had an election with 600 contestants in KANU. And interesting enough is that of all the incumbents from the 1963, we had 77 of them losing in that election. That means 81 members managed to retain their seats. That's like 49%. Now, this is going to form the basis of our conversation, and we will be looking to analyze how the numbers of, how the numbers have always come through in our elections, beginning from the 3,687,734 registered voters in 1969 up to where we are today currently, looking at the previous election where we had 22 million or over and above 22 million voters registered for the 2022 election. Keep it this channel as we break down the journey to the growth of the democracy of the Republic of Kenya.